Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I want to know what your favorite Leatherman is and why. And when I say Leatherman, I mean it both as the registered trademark and also as a generic term for essentially what are kind of these type of multi-tools. There are lots of multi-tools. I mean, in the bicycling world, this is a multi-tool. There are cheap multi-tools. I don't even know if I can find the brand on this thing. And I have no idea why I'm keeping it, but maybe for videos. And then there are the Leathermans, which I think has probably the best offering. I've used a lot of others. Here's a Gerber. This is kind of an out the front one. And I'm not impressed with most of them. I have some little tiny ones that I think are okay, but I like the Leatherman. I like the blades. I like the execution of the pliers. And I like the ability to choose essentially what kind you want for what adventure you're embarking on. They come in different sizes. They come with obviously a bunch of different tools. They come from more simple designs, to more complex, fancy designs. Here's a titanium handle with S30V steel, and the prices are kind of all over the place. They have little teeny weeny ones, medium-sized ones, kind of the average. This is the Leatherman Wave. In fact, this is the Wave Plus. The Wave has gone through a lot of different iterations. Here's the original Wave. And then it went to the updated Wave. One of the differences, they improved the blades on it, made it a little bit larger. And then when they went to the full Wave Plus, they finally started having some adjustable, or not some replaceable components on it, because you might have a perfectly good multi-tool, except you tried to cut piano wire or something and shattered gouged out your cutting teeth here, your cutting knives on the pliers, and you'd have to replace pretty much the whole thing, because the original, you could see, doesn't have replaceable ones. And then the next one, even though it's a little bit bigger plier, you can see it's a little bit beefier. In fact, we can look at the blades too. One of the things I like about this particular one is the blade is easily and quickly accessible when the knife is in a closed position. But you can see that between the first and second generation, they've updated the blade, made it a little bit beefier. They used kind of a standard, I don't know what it was, 420 or 440 stainless. I think 440 on their blades, unless you moved up. Some of the others, like this carbon fiber enhanced Leatherman Skeletool CX here, if you look at the blade, this one's got 154 cm crucible steel. It's an upgrade. It's considered a super steel. It'd be on the bottom end of super steels. And then if you went up with their titanium TII, you can get that S30V. So I hope they keep experimenting, because you really do get a big benefit from the super steels, especially if your knife blade gets thin. And then size-wise, this is kind of the industry standard sized. I'm using the Wave here because that's, I think, their best selling ever. This was like the industry standard sized, but then they also started going down in size, and found a market there, kind of the EDC keychain world. And you can do quite a bit. You can get pliers, you can get scissors, and then they also went up. So here's a Leatherman Surge. This is, I think, their biggest multi-tool, so you can see that it is quite a bit bigger than the Wave. There's this is the Juice C2, I think, or S2, and then all the way down to the little Squirt. So there's quite a bit of possibilities here. They make a couple of different styles. Here's one where they have sort of the rounded formed handles. That's how the Wave is, the Surge is. This titanium one's a little bit different, because of the titanium plates that they've got on this. Doesn't necessarily make it lighter. I do like the feel in the hand. However, they also have kind of more the pressed steel, which is similar to how Leatherman started back in 1983 when Cabela's first ordered 500 units of their PST, their original multi-tool. And this particular one, you can see, just uses sort of the bent metal. This is a lot harsher on the hand compared to something like this, where they smooth it out a lot. They also make several versions of almost the same thing, so I think there are 3 different versions here. I can't remember which one I don't have out here. But we've got the Wingman, we've got the Sidekick, and these are spring-loaded, very similar, but they have a couple of blade differences, or sometimes it seems only one blade difference. And in this case, they've got a blade there. This one might have a saw. Maybe that's or scissors versus a saw might be the difference. Most people, don't put as much thought. Yeah, I think that's it. Scissors versus a saw, inside versus outside maybe. But they do have a lot of variability if you really want to dial down to exactly what blade set you want. I often carry this one with me because I want pair of pliers and I want a knife. Screwdriver is an added benefit. This is the one I took on a river trip recently. That was plenty. Or I might have a Wave, or if it's a big bug out bag, I may throw a Surge in there. Anything else I might use. This is their Mutt, which is designed kind of more specific for things that if you know about it, great. If you don't, well, it's not for you then, probably. Here's a SOG. SOG gave me this one that first came out, and I really liked it. And in fact, this one I actually pulled out the knife, put a spacer in there. You can see there's a little washer and an empty slot. And I did that a couple of years ago. I was headed out on a trip, but then COVID hit, and I wanted to see what would happen going through the TSA with a knife or with a multi-tool this large. I do actually have a Leatherman that's designed to be TSA compliant, and it's always worked. People pull it out and look at it, and I point it out, and they let it go. You can get accessories. Here's some other additional pieces. Here's a file, diamond file, extra saw. This one is the extra bit driver, so if you have one of these and use it as a bit driver, which I often do, this particular one allows me to extend it and get a much more useful use out of it. This fits both the regular 1/4 inch, but I can also use Leatherman's kind of proprietary bits, which are super thin. So that to me is a useful addition. And then you can buy more of the Leatherman bits. Here's their regular bit set. But do you use these? I haven't even figured out why they're in this particular configuration of storage. I store it in a small knife case. So I'm curious what you use, what brand. Doesn't have to be Leatherman, obviously. And then what are the features? So I want a good pair of pliers. That's almost the only reason I might have this, because I probably have another knife with me. Right now I'm probably seeing this, carrying this Benchmade mini Adamas, and then so pliers come first to me, knife comes second, because if I'm going to bother with it, I want to have a good knife. These are really stiff, this kind, and everything's on the inside, so you have to pull the knife out and then close it. This one doesn't get much use. So anyway, there's that. I really like the Waves. Wave Plus now is really nice, but all the Waves are good because you can easily use it. It's got a solid lockup. If you want their serrated one, that's great. I don't use the saw much. I have, believe it or not, more on plastics than on wood. This is kind of one of my fun ones that I carry that is just silky smooth, beautiful. Love the knife in it. This is the titanium one. They just dialed it in. But it's also, I think, a little on the excessively expensive side. And then the small ones for different kits that I build, depending on what my needs are. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are. What Leathermans have you used? Have you had any failures? I've had a lot of returns or warranty exchanges where I've snapped off various parts. Usually it's the blade, but sometimes it's other things. Or they just stop working in some aspect. Maybe they fly open. You know, I've had pivots that stop working. But just tell me your Leatherman or your multi-tool experience and what you like. I want to learn. And then I'm sure you've got some adventures you probably saved yourself on with these things. I know I have. Anyway, with that, Doc out.